Hi everybody, this is Miss Martinez here. Today we are going to learn how to tune our violin. This is one of the things that everyone is afraid about because they're afraid about popping a string. Well, we're going to learn how to avoid that, and here we go. First thing we want to do is we want to get our violin, make sure that it's on a flat surface, and you're going to either pull out your violin or your viola. This part right here is our neck of the instrument, and we're just going to hold it here for safety and put it on our knee. It's the safest way to do it. Now, we got to talk about a couple other things. Number one, these are your strings. Next, this is your bridge here. Now, the bridge should be lined up right next to these little notches on your instrument. They're very hard to see. They should be lined up right there and should be standing up. If you have a leaning bridge, get in contact with your music teacher and let them know so that you can make adjustments. I'll also show you adjustments on this video. Next thing, we have our pegs up here at the top. The pegs turn towards this scroll, okay, to tighten, and away from it to loosen. So if your string is really out of tune, you're gonna have to turn the peg towards the scroll. Now the last thing we have are these little fine tuners at the bottom. These screws go up and down and they make small adjustments on your string to make sure that you're in tune. Now let's get started. So now to get started, we need to talk about what is tuning. So let's start with the tuning talk. Well, have you ever heard people sing happy birthday to you? Some of them sound good and some of them, well, they don't sound that good. That's not their problem. They just don't know how to be in tune. Our instruments need the same help. They need to learn how to be in tune, and you're the one that's in charge of that. So for me, I like to use a phone tuner app. This is my cute little dog. And I use this app called Sound Corset. It's a blue one here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open that up. And up here in this app interface, I'm gonna click where it says tuner. We're gonna go ahead and look at the tuner. So while I'm talking, you're gonna see sometimes it's green, sometimes it's off green, and so on and so forth. So when it's green, we are in tune. When it's beyond the green, we are sharp. And when it's below the green, we are flat. So we're gonna work on our string, and I'm gonna show you how we tune it. So first thing, I've got my instrument here. I'm gonna be working with the D string. So if I'm on a violin, again, this is the left side, my D string is the second string. And I'm just gonna pluck it. So if you could see on my phone, it's registering as D flat. Now this string, I don't want it to be D flat. The flat is that little B, in case you don't know. I don't want it to be D flat. I want it to be D. So anything that's flat, like a flat tire, needs to be filled up with air. This needs to be the same thing. So flat is underneath. It's not good enough. If you see a little like hashtag sign, like a sharp, that means you filled up your tire with too much air. It's gonna pop at any second. So on the D, what I can do is I can tune from the peg, or I could tune from here. So first things first, whenever you start your tuning, loosen up your fine tuner. Okay, so I'm loosening up lefty loosey righty. Sorry for my nail polish today. Okay, and I want to loosen that string. Now it should show even lower on my tuning app. So we're gonna go back to it. See how it's B now? It's a really, really low. So I'm gonna hold my violin on my leg, and I always wanna give extra support to the instrument. So I'm gonna hold it right about here at the neck, and I wanna be able to pluck. So I'm gonna be using my thumb to pluck to make sure that my tuner stops at the green D, not D flat, not D sharp, while I'm turning the peg. Now, very important, turn the peg slowly, not quickly, or else it might pop in your face. I'm gonna start turning now towards the scroll because I'm flat. Okay, so I have a stuck peg. When this happens, don't try to force it. Turn your violin around, hold it right here, and turn it towards the scroll. Okay? Just a little bit, then turn it back to you and check. My phone is saying C, so I'm just gonna turn it a bit more. Now, if I'm back in that like D flat range, but you see the needle going farther, this is when you can use the fine tuner. Okay, so my fine tuner, I'm just gonna start turning it down. So I'm gonna make the screw go down and it's gonna press onto the string. I'm almost there. Okay, so let me show you on my phone. Now my D is in tune. That is exactly where we want it to be. Now we're gonna work on the next string over, which is the A string. So these are the middle strings. So the A string sounds like this. This one is showing A flat. Oops, not D. Let's try that again. So first I'm gonna look at my fine tuner. My fine tuner is all the way down again, so I'm gonna loosen that up. If my fine tuner is down all the way, I can't make that small adjustment, so I have to start from the pegs. If you have a lot of space, like your fine tuner's all the way up like that, then you can just turn your fine tuner. But if it's all the way down, like this one right here, then you aren't gonna be able to turn it because you ran out of space. Okay, now it's saying my string is E flat, so I'm gonna turn my A string, see how I'm holding it? I want to be able to pluck, so I'm going to pluck with this thumb this time, and I'm going to turn with my right hand. Okay, now I'm going to check with my phone. I'm a little high, so I'm going to loosen. There you go. So here we are. And there is my A string. So that is how we tune the instrument. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me or to your music teachers. And when you're done, make sure that you put your instrument back in your case. And that's all we have for today. So until I see you next time, see you later. Hi everybody. So we're gonna do a quick little tip on how to use the bow or to pull out the bow. So I'm gonna show you guys. So here is my violin sitting in its case. You want to make sure that the bow has this piece here, the frog, is usually on the right side, and the tip, which I'll pull out in a second, is usually covered because it's very fragile. I'm just going to turn this little hook to loosen it and pull it out. Not a sword. Okay, very important. When you have the bow, you always want to make sure you put it away with loose hair. So I'm going to loosen this screw right here. And all of a sudden, I'm going to check back, a finger test, and see that the hair is loose. Always put your bow away with loose hair. When you're ready to play it, you pull out your bow and you tighten. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Do not tighten it a lot, okay? You can do a finger test. You put a finger through the bow hair. Don't touch the hair because our oils on our hand actually ruin the horsehair or whatever kind of hair we have on here. All right, so we can do a finger test or put your finger through to make sure that it is tightened enough. And if it bounces, you're good to go, okay? Remember, put the bow away with loose hair and you are good to go.